Morning, Steve Lentini, Lord and Lentini, training for life and the best, getting better. I've written a course book that I teach from called Wake Up, Jump Into Your Life. And it says, what's the wake that you're leaving behind? What do your thoughts, words, and actions say to others? And whether I use the course book or not, or use it in my programs that I do in companies and with individuals as well, coaching people about how they show up and training people about how they show up in life, because if you've ever done a landmark program or an S program or the forum, you know that there's things you don't know that you don't know. But for all the people who have never done those kind of programs, what I call self-awareness, they don't know how they show up. I've worked with micromanagers who didn't know they were so controlling over their people, and they didn't have to work that hard is what they discovered. Plus they learned that to the people that they worked with, I'm reflecting a little bit of how I'm going to say this, they had their head in a dark spot, if you know what I mean. And you know, the thing about having your head in a dark spot is you walk around thinking everybody else is wrong, or that they're crazy, or you're defending when people come to you with how you're showing up. And there's always an excuse. Well, people say, well, I don't trust you. Or people say that I don't do that, or that's not me, or it's them doing it to me. And listen, we all have some of those areas where we fall down. But typically, if we have a story about others, we're missing that we have it ourselves. Right? So if you say you can't trust certain others, you're probably not trustworthy. If you say that that's not me, I'm easygoing and relaxed with my people, I let them contribute and comment, I'm not a micromanager, you probably are. If you have to defend, there's something in it that you have. And so the wake-up work, I had a friend that said to me, Steve, teach selling. Most people don't want to wake up. I think today more people are working to become self-aware, and it's a journey, right? It's not a destination. So when you peel back one layer of the onion, so to speak, and you improve, you add to your toolbox, right? You add to your depth in your reservoir, right? You become deeper as a person. And then there's something else to learn. Something else pops up to the surface. And you know, when you discover things about yourself, what you find out is when you change, things change. It's fascinating, right? A lot of people are tight and have a story about all the others. This is what's happening at work. This is what they're doing to me. This is what the boss is doing. This is what my wife is doing. This is what my husband's doing. This is what so-and-so's doing. This is what... It's all BS. It's all BS. Whatever story we're telling ourselves is limiting our success. It's what I call the acorn brain thinking. Small-minded thinking. The acorn brain. Picture the acorn, right? It can become an oak tree. And if you're an acorn, the good news is it's easy to crack open an acorn. If you're a Brazil nut, I've worked with a few people that are really Brazil nuts. They just don't want to hear anything about themselves because they think they're right. It's hard to crack a Brazil nut, right? Even with a hammer sometimes. So be an acorn. It's okay to have some small-minded thinking. We all do. I have coaches, by the way. I have 2 coaches, and actually 3. And maybe I'm a Brazil nut. I'm willing to consider it. But my coaches are always working with me about different areas of my life. One's a spiritual coach. One's a money coach, and the other's a coaching in my business, backs me up in what I do in coaching. And I'm willing to listen because I can't see everything about myself. All I do know is when I change, things change. And when I grow, things around me shift. And I just know I have to keep working on me and helping people along the way, helping people win. It's what I love to do. So if you have any questions, reach me at steve@stevelentini.com. If you'd like to buy my wake-up book, my workbook, right? I'm working on the book itself called Wake Up, Jump Into Your Life. But if you want to buy the workbook, email me, steve@stevelentini.com. It's $19.95. It's a bargain for self-awareness. And if you have a great story and I can crack your Brazil nut, I will give you the book. All right, Steve at stevelentini.com. Email me anytime. Great. Have a great week.